asked me to go bring a third row seat back into his SUV. Drove a Sequoia at the time. And I'm like, yeah, regular stuff. Go put them in the back. And as I go to go back into the house, the door's locked. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Go to the side, go to the back, all these doors are locked. Knocking on the door, nothing. And I start hearing screams. So I kick the door down and I come in and I see him. He's got my mother. She had dreads at the time. He's holding her by her dreads and he's got a box cutter at her neck. And he's like, if you come any closer, I'm gonna kill her. And I'm like, okay. So this kicks off a 3.5 hour standoff where I'm doing talk down and negotiation for him to hand me different weapons because he's at this point he's getting knives, he's uh, hitting her with bottles, he's doing all these different things in front of me, and he's airing out his grievances. But at the same time, he's like slashing her, he's cutting her in different places, and I'm just trying to talk him down, keep everybody alive as long as possible. And eventually, my sister, who was out with Big Brothers Big Sisters program with her big sister, she comes back, and it's probably at the third hour, and it was a benefit because thank goodness he had a soft spot for her where he was able to come down a bit more, and he put in a crazy request where he wanted to, uh, I guess, be wanted to talk with her, and he didn't want anybody else there. And I was like, no, no way I'm letting that happen. So it was me, him, and my sister in the bathroom, and my mother was outside now, so at least she was safe. And he finished talking to her, got real emotional about it, and then he let my sister go with my mother. So they ran upstairs, and called the police and everything. And at that point, it's just me blocking him from being able to go and get any kind of access to them. And he realizes that the police are called; they're going to be on their way. So he starts flipping out, losing his mind. Like he's pulling the stove out of the oven. He's breaking the gas line. He's stabbing himself in the neck, trying to kill himself. All this stuff is going on. It's like a wounded animal. And he looks, well, the police get there. He looks at me. He's like, time to die. He runs at the police with a knife. Uh, they shoot him 2 times. And at the time, I had a knife on me as well because after my sister had gone upstairs, he had given me a weapon. That was the only way I was going to allow him to be with my sister. He wanted the weapon back, and I wouldn't give it back to him. So broke a bottle, tried to use that, and I got between him and the knife, and I had to stab him a couple times in the chest to be able to hold him back. So that happened, and at that point, when he died, I still had the knife on me. Police came, they, arrested me too. My mother and sisters, glad they came in time to be like, not him, not my son and all that. But I really just dropped down and probably sobbed for like an hour and a half. And we still had to go through it. We still had to go to the police station, deal with what felt like an interrogation all the way until like 6 in the morning. Nobody got any sleep. Immediately after that, there's newspapers coming up, questioning my mom, doing all these different things. But at the end of it, I realized there's too many scenarios that happen like this on a regular basis. And I'm 16 right now. I'm planning on going to the Marines, all this different stuff. I don't know all the different scenarios that everybody else deals with. So you fast forward to that happening, and my ex-wife, I've expressed all this to her, told her about all that is happening. And we're in Quantico, we're both active duty at the time. She's pregnant with my son, and I'm working as a bouncer. And she's got all these unresolved issues. Like she's been abused as a child, been abused as an adult, abused in her last relationship before me, and none of this is resolved. And she hasn't built that trust to where that's not with me yet. But I told myself relationships work in a way where you were supposed to be miserable, and then eventually, after you dealt with that for X period of time, it would get better. For some reason, that math made sense to me. But this particular night, she just wasn't having it. She thought I was, oh yeah, she thought I was cheating on her. And I'm like, no, this is night 4 that I'm bouncing, regular stuff. She wouldn't let me grab my phone, which I'd forgotten there. And she was choking me and draped on me, wouldn't let me leave. So I had to peel her off of me. And I didn't think anything of it when she ran out of the house and I was like, it seems like pretty regular, crazy stuff. The MPs get there more like minutes later as I'm walking out. And they fucking brutalized the shit out of me. Like the sergeant that was on deck was really sympathetic to abuse, but from a woman's standpoint, and assumed that I was just this wife beater that was beating on his pregnant wife and all of this stuff. So he gave me the business, you know, gave me all the stomach work, all the legs, shoulder, face work. I was real jacked up. Then they arrested me. They took me in. I got interrogated by CID again
What?
until 8 in the morning. The command came through. My sergeant major, CO over there.
Yeah, they don't put up with that stuff.
I had just been so lucky enough that she made the mistake of confessing what she did that they were able to lessen my NJP that I went through. But we were both corporals at the time, so we still ended up getting some charges put on us. But the fact that she ended up getting some charges on herself as well was really the saving grace that kept me from just getting the book thrown at me. But the point is, these things, the society in which, you know, these things operate, it's skewed in various ways. One, to where you've got the avenue of men that will ignore it happening to women because, you know, let's be honest, they would do the same things themselves. And then you've got the other side of it where no one accepts that it happens to men and the severity in which it happens to men as well. And if they were to acknowledge both of those, then that would mean that they would have to look at all the reasons that they exist. And that would be all the unresolved issues that cause all of these problems in the first place. And I just share that to say there's a lot of different avenues that it happens that we don't really realize. But
yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
If you take the time, you can heal. You can move past it. You don't need to forget it.
Thanks for
But you can move past it.
Thanks for opening up, Sean.
Thanks for sharing that, Sean. That was wow.
Thanks for sharing, Sean.
Hugs.
Trina, you have your hands up.
Trina's had her hands up for a while.
Yeah, Trina.
They might be working.
Trina!
See them on the screen.
She's somewhere floating around in space.
Working on that
So
space station.
Oh yeah. So Jasmine, yeah, that's
Probably
another
going
reason.
potty.
Like Jasmine, you know a good bit about the issues I had with my mother, and this is another reason why it's difficult for me to disengage based on what has happened, what we've been through.
That's fair. I mean, but the point will come when I stop talking to you too. I gotta protect my mental health, and I cannot watch people suffer. Like I like to say I don't agree with the empath diagnosis, but when I see someone physically going through something or emotionally going through something, I look like this. This is cute, but it's not the usual sex appeal that I bring to the table. And now that I'm like really got no penises in the port, I gotta look extra cute. This ain't the time. Like this.
I can't with you, POTUS.
Like
I got nothing on that one.
You can take a day. You can take a day, Jasmine. Take
it
a
has
day.
been a day. This happened yesterday. I'm just sharing it with you all today. That's a full day.
Okay.
I didn't go to the beach today. Like this, like the stuff is all of my stuff from his apartment's getting delivered at 5 o'clock. Like this all happened yesterday.
I hate when that happens.
Wow.
Turn off my camera. Sean had me in my feels. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, cuz. I'm so sorry.
there's a lot more to it too. I don't want to share the details, but
Yeah.
That was the PG-13 version of that story.
because there's no reason that, I guess, I just want people to understand the position that kids can get put in, because there's no reason that I'm over here having to be a teenage hostage negotiator and ensure that I'm trying to maximize how many lives are saved. I got things to worry about.
Hey, Sean, I'm not sure how you process, but for me, I took like a year off from all relationships other than friendships, and just basically de-stressed, unwound, took time for myself, all the stuff I needed to do to get my mental health, marginally back. And that seems to work for a lot of people that are, guys.
Well, yeah, that was a big part of why I got into the psychology field too, because like I knew I didn't feel like myself after that, and I felt less like myself after everything with my ex-wife, so on and so forth. Like I wanted to know why I felt how I did and get some kind of semblance of how I used to feel, and I've been able to do that. I really want that for other people.
Yeah, mine only took a while because I had to still see her for quite a few months afterwards, fighting through court, and I didn't have to be around her, but I still had to deal with her and try to talk to her on a civil level, even though I was fighting for my son.
Yeah, that is the worst, because when you got kids, it's like
Yeah.
it's not like you wish bad on them, like you really wish better for them, but then when you see them and it's like still the same stuff, you're like, oh, you still haven't resolved anything, and that's a shame.
Katrina, you are called on because your hand is raised, love.
I am so sorry. I had to switch out the laundry. I forgot what I was going to talk about, but we had such a good conversation. But after the men finish their stories, I have something to say about my childhood.
Uh-oh. You're gonna make me turn my camera off on that one.
Floor is yours, Katrina.
Yeah, floor is yours.
Okay, so this is an uncomfortable conversation to have, but I'm just going to say, based off of a history of seeing my mom being abused and her mom being abused, I thought getting beat on was normal. I thought that was a normal thing. It took me a few years, actually, when I was with my ex. He used to hit me and I'd like have bruises on my face, and I would go see my mom, and my mother was like, why do you have bruises on your face? And I'm like, oh, we fight. It was like so normal. And it took for me to actually realize down the road that it was not okay for a person to put their hands on you when they're angry, or because you didn't cook the pork chop the way they wanted you to. My ex beat me for that. So yeah, and going on TikTok and seeing, gaslighting and all that stuff, I didn't know about none of that. I thought getting beat and being treated like crap, men taking money from me, was normal.
No.
So it's really scary what, how being raised, and, my mom never said it was not okay. To this day, she's being abused by my dad and she's still with him, but it's just an uncomfortable conversation to have, because we have to go back to our parents and say, hey, the way you're being treated is not right. So
the only time your partner should ever be able to touch you is during slug bug.
I agree. Jasmine, my heart breaks for you, love. Jasmine.
Slug bug or slap ban.
Twitch is saying that they're so sorry and they're sending you hearts. And I can tell you right now, if anybody ever puts their hand on you right now in Charlotte, I got you.
They would never do that.
You're in my home state too.
Yeah,
I'm fucking getting in the car. I'm getting in the fucking car.
Right, Katrina.
I ain't even got to get in the car. I got a person that does my work on Saturdays. I got you.
Okay, so here's my thing when it comes down to that. Okay, I would never allow it because I'm old enough and I'm wise enough to not allow anyone to put their hands on me.
Good.
I'm still trying to unlearn that horrible thing with disciplining my kids. So I know it is something that I would never, ever, ever allow. Me and you gonna fight. We gonna fight. But Jasmine, my heart breaks for you, love. It is hard loving people. It really is. It's hard caring for people because you have to accept. Woo! Supposed to punch out for work. Sorry. You are supposed to. You have to kind of accept their pain. Accept that they are willing to be treated bad. I love my mom, but I know my dad pays for sex from other women, and I have to sit back and accept it. It bothers me. There's nothing I can do. All I'm telling you is your love is valid. And it's
I have to
nothing.
remove myself from the situation. So like that's the part where I feel like I'm being ugly because I can't do break-ins and then love and like violence. Like I just can't.
You can't, and you shouldn't
See?
have to.
But to both of your points, this is exactly what we talked about, Jasmine. Having a plan in place to where this is not the same situation that myself or anyone else will be in months later. Like I wasn't joking about that. I was serious. It's like I'm going to be doing the things to where this is the exact same thing that I'm going through later down the road, and I'm not going to have these complaints. And you see these things are set in motion. It's okay to take those steps for yourself. It's all right.
I just want you to understand that your love is valid. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be hurting because you love that person. It's okay. I think that that's the problem that we fight ourselves. No, it's okay. No, it is okay. It's okay to care about someone and love them and want them to be safe, but it's nothing you can do. If he makes that decision that he wants to go and deal with that, there's nothing you did wrong. All you can do is just say, I'm gonna love you from afar. That's all you can do. And
that is one of the hardest things that you could ever have to do. I'm speaking from current experience with my goddaughter who's 19. I am watching her relive my abusive relationship. I'm watching it from the outside now, and there's nothing I can do because she don't want to listen. I'm watching the love bombing happen. I'm watching him pull her away from her family. I'm watching it all, the exact same motions, and there is nothing that I can do except for I love you, honey, anytime I get the chance to see her, because she don't even have a car now. Anywhere she goes, he has to be there.
Remove the car. Yep.
That is exactly what my family had to do with me. Like I was so withdrawn from them and was just taking steps and steps back. But I did end up moving back in with them. So,
but see, that's the thing though, Prof. That's the scary part. How long did it take before you got there? That's the part that people also don't realize, is that during the entire gaslighting, grooming phase, they convince you that you can't go home, while your family's sitting around crying, missing you, worried to death about you.
Yep.
And I'm watching this happen. I know Cuddle said something in the comments about their daughter. Like, it is hard, POTUS, to know that someone that you love and care about is being harmed, and you can't do anything about it except for sit there and cry. It is one of the most painful things in the world. And especially if you've been someone who's ever been on the receiving end and you're watching it happen, I would rather somebody kill me right now than to have to watch a child that I was there the day that she was born and have been here her entire life. And I can't stop what's coming to her. I can't. And even though I know I can, I can't. My hands are tied. My way to fix this problem would get me put in prison. And then I'm no good to my family. So all I can do is sit here and hope that she comes home. It hurts, POTUS. We understand and we know what you're going through. So understand when Katrina says it's okay for you to cry and it's okay for you to be hurting right now, it really is, because we understand. We know this pain.
Okay, so we're gonna get off the subject because this is a very touchy subject.
Hey, Charlie's
No,
handling them.
let's stay on the subject.
No.
This is a tough subject.
It's just like everyone is crying. Oh, this
so
is
listen,
so sad. Okay, Charlie.
These are very triggering topics. These are very trauma-heavy topics. If y'all need to drop, mute your mics, mute your headphones, turn the camera off. Do what you need to help yourself. If you want to continue on this conversation,
that part, Jamal. That part.
Stay in here.
But
I love
talking
y'all.
about triggering situations is necessary because you can't lance that wound unless you talk about it.
It is
So
necessary if you're ready to handle the trauma. And
Right.
at any point,
If
if anyone ever needs to drop, if anyone ever needs to mute, turn the camera off. Whatever you need to do it. We're here for you. And just type me a message and say, hey, this is too trauma-inducing or triggering or whatever. Let me know when we're done with the combo, and I will add y'all back in. I didn't even post the link in our Discord yet. Hang on.
Yeah, everybody hear me out. It's a process that you go through. It's not something that you can step in and step out of.
Right.
You really have to take it in a step by step committed process. And for example, myself, the point that I'm at, I can talk about all of these things that I've been through, and I can go into detail in better ways than I was able to years ago. Right. That doesn't make me better than anyone. It just means that I'm more practiced over time. That's really all it takes.
You're further along in the process.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
The practice over time is what's going to make these things easier for you, and that's going to help you develop the coping that works best for you. So don't get caught up in how difficult it feels. Try to focus on paying attention to what it feels like, and then keeping an eye out for the different solutions that your mind is going to present for you to be able to deal with it along the road. But don't try to ripping off the Band-Aid approach is going to make things worse. So immediately ending the topic would do more damage than easing out of it and decompressing with it.
Yeah.
So
once if you're able to go full circle, making that final circle back around and going back into the healing thing, it's crucial, but it's extremely painful to get there sometimes.
And all these years later, even for me, it's been 15 years for me, 16 years for me. So, and I still have that little bit of built up in there that I'm like, what could I have done that I could have done better, or what could I have done to avoid what I got into, but in reality, there's nothing I can do to change what happened. The only thing I can do now is change how I view it and how I approach it and how I cope with it.
Yeah.
Prophet, that sucks. That's the PTSD from tooth pain is the worst.
Yeah.
My heart breaks for you, Prophet, because tooth pain is worse than labor. I can't tolerate
That's
it.
so bad.
Tooth pain is
I have to get a root canal. I've been avoiding. I have like a dental condition, and I've been avoiding the dentist for years, especially when I was homeless. So I have like 2 of my molars that need root canals. I've had 4 of my molars removed from my mouth when I was a kid. So like I have mad fucked up teeth. So that's why it's so bad when it happens.
Right. I hear you, Prophet.
Surgery and shit. Yeah.
Man, I've had my hand up for a while.
Oh,
absolutely.
And I love everybody in this room, and I don't mean to be an asshole, but sometimes when I try to speak, I get spoken over. So I shut up and put my hand up, and then I still get ignored. And it's very, very triggering. Very triggering. Sorry. I love y'all. Very, very triggering, and I'm about to tell you for why. So, piggybacking off of what Katrina said, my father used to beat the brakes off my mother. In front of us, it didn't matter. And in the family, they would always say things, like, well, she deserved it. She don't know when to shut up. She don't know when to keep her mouth shut. So she, if she didn't argue back all the time. So I grew up thinking that you're not supposed to argue back. That's how you stay safe, if you keep your mouth shut. And then I grew up to be a woman who cannot keep her mouth shut. I'm gonna say what I have to say. And I think that going back to what Jasmine was talking about and relating it to my parents' relationship, sometimes two toxic people, they just can't get away from each other because that drama, that turmoil, that to them is love. My mother used to get her ass whooped on the daily, but you could not tell that woman to separate herself from that man. She wasn't leaving that man. She wasn't turning her back on that man. She wasn't calling the police on that man. Whatever he did, and she felt like she deserved it. So I think that sometimes as people who love somebody who's in an abusive relationship, we have to step back and let them just learn their own lessons on their own, because you're gonna be the one who gets hurt in the end. For example, now my father died when I was 9 years old. So that he died just after my birthday. My birthday was June 17th. I turned 9 years old. My father died that July. So this conversation between myself and my father was either between the ages of 6, 7, and 8. I'm not exactly sure when this conversation happened, but I remember sitting down with my dad and telling him that it really hurts my feelings when I see you hit mommy. And my father said to me, well, I'm so sorry, baby. The next time you feel scared, the next time that happens, I want you to say something. So that way I know that you're in the room. Can I tell you the next time my father hit my mother and I said something, I ended up on the other side of the room. And I learned at that moment, never say another word. That it was normal, that it was okay, and that it was her fault. And I grew up blaming my mother. And then I turned into a woman who I'm not shutting up. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. And I understand where my mother was coming from. But at the same time, I do blame her in a way because she wouldn't leave. She wouldn't leave. She wasn't gonna, there was nothing you could do to tell her that Big Tony, who's my father, wasn't the light in her life. She was addicted to the toxicity and the drugs. I'm done. Now I feel awkward. Everybody's really quiet.
No.
You told us to shut the flip up.
Yeah, you told us to shut the hell
You
up.
tell us to shut up. We're gonna shut up and let you have the floor.
I didn't say it like that. When Charlie makes a statement, we listen.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. I mean, if we all need to be held accountable, all of us. And if we talk over people, including everybody, me, you, everybody, if we talk over people, step on anyone's toes, put us in check. That's what this is here for.
You know what to do with your hands.
Why it triggers me so much again is like that childhood trauma where like I wasn't allowed to say nothing. I had to keep my mouth shut. And then I grew up to become this woman who I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
Good.
And so when I get in these rooms and I want to say what I have to say, but I'm trying to be like polite and I don't want to speak over people, I get mad. Sorry, y'all.
Charlie, don't get mad. This room is for you. You
Absolutely.
come in here, you talk what you need to say, and we're gonna listen. Okay?
Absolutely.
Charlie, I'm with you though.
You know, and sorry, go ahead.
I've got similar. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I was sorry I took so long. I ended up on.
Okay, I put Sean on mute for a little bit.
Yeah, word. He's sitting there talking to me. Hi, I'm sorry. Real quick. Okay, so I think that also that we need to, because when Charlie said, you know, I'm mad that my mother didn't leave. And then it's just like, I had to remind myself that my grandmother didn't leave because she couldn't leave. And then my mother didn't leave because she could leave, but she is like, her brain is told that she can't leave her husband. She can't, that's wrong. You're not supposed to leave their husband. So if you're fed that, we don't leave our men. We can't. No, they need us. I asked my mom a couple of days ago, why does she stay with my dad? And everything she said was because of him. Oh, because I know he won't be okay without me. It's not her happiness. It's not because, like, it's nothing with her. It's always him. So I think that when we hear women say that, we have to, I think that sometimes we looking outside and we have to kind of be mindful. We could give them all of those nuggets, how wonderful you are, how beautiful you are, how worthy you are. They have to feel it. If they don't feel it, it's a waste of time. How many years I told my mother how amazing she is. Men have went up to my mother and said, leave your husband, I will take care of you. And she will not leave him.
The system was also built to help keep men in control of women too. It wasn't until what, the 70s that women were allowed to have their own individual bank accounts? They weren't allowed to hold land ownership until how long? I mean, and still to this day, if a woman's married, even in some states, they're not allowed to get birth control. They're not allowed to get certain medical operations done without a man's approval.
Without the husband's approval, right? Exactly.
You know, these things are put in place to keep them.
Literally our state in North Carolina. You can't get anything without a permission slip from somebody with a penis.
You know what's funny is that my wife had IUD, and she didn't have any. She didn't have to consult me. They didn't consult me or nothing.
She has a child though.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, those of us with no
that's true.
owner and no like little link.
Damn, I was like, oh, maybe they're doing better.
No.
I need a
permission slip because what if I get married and my spouse wants children?
Wow. Yeah.
Yep. I'm a bio break though. All this crying has made me gotta pee.
Hydrate. Everybody hydrate. And if I miss Jasmine, if I miss Jasmine coming in, everyone remind her to hydrate, because I mean, tearing up crying, it makes you sweat. It takes so much energy out of you. You got to put some
especially when you use a rose.
Two things. So your body's going to have a trauma response based on you either reliving or going through that trauma, which means that you're going to be experiencing shakes, fatigue, nausea, all of the things.
Yep.
So be wary of that. Pay attention to that. Secondly, Charlie, I'm with you. I relate. So through the whole episode that was going down, and this is something that we all take note of. Everybody's got their own toxic traits. Whether you bring these toxic traits into these problematic scenarios, on you as a person. And unfortunately, mine was the opposite of that, where your mother is fully warranted in, having her voice and having that voice spoken. My mother did that, but chose to do it at the wrong time in the wrong fashion. And what I mean by that is, as everything was happening, it was one thing for her to be like, you're not gonna intimidate me in front of my son and stuff like that. No, she was antagonizing this man as all of this was happening. In turn, making my job considerably harder. It was more, oh, you're just gonna do this here in front of him? That's a real man. Like, I'm like, you're not making any of this better. And I need better from you right now. And that created some issues between that, because she's never been able to fully reconcile that. But at the same time, it also helps me understand a voice is necessary. Like, generally, there's no excuse to try and silence any voice. If any kind of action is going to be taken, there should be assistance to try and help with it. But it's never any man's place really to try and minimize any woman's voice. That's all.
Hey there, can I help you? Okay, so my hand is up. So I wanted to say something. I don't understand how there are some men out here that do not like women. I don't get it. Do you want to know why? Looking at a woman yesterday, she was fine as hell. I don't get it. And I'm a woman, and I look in the mirror and I'm saying, damn, I'm cute.
Katrina,
I just want to get off my shoulder.
You fine. What are you talking about? Cute.
Katrina, white ass Karens. If you've been around white ass Karens enough, you will hate all women. Okay. I'm sorry. It just happens, man. It's just like rubs off.
That seems pretty like a toxic philosophy, CJ.
Well, I've had white ass
Is this witch?
Karens.
Are you a witch on TikTok?
Am I? No, I'm CJ2126 or CJ and TikTok. I am, CJ2126. I use that handle on most stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jasmine, did you drink water?
Yeah, I did.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Drink more. Drink more.
Drink more.
Drink more.
Your nose is red.
That was not a confident. That was not a confident yes.
You blew it.
So the problem is, what you guys don't understand is I'm really type A. I do not like having a solution I cannot
Guys, I'll be right back.
I'm just frustrated at like the lack of me doing things, right? Like I'm more of a fixer person. And so I'm just sitting here filled with frustration over a lack of like fixing a problem.
I'll put you to work if you want me to.
Sick of Nisha.
Get that.
Nisha's trying to send a glitter bomb.
You know, I am like 20 minutes away.
But again, my problem, like I said, he didn't do anything wrong except be a victim. And I have to learn you cannot control people. Like that's the biggest part. You can't control anybody.
No, but we can hold the person, the girl responsible for being abusive.
No, you can't even do anything to that because abusers need help too. They need therapy. They need assistance, just like a person who's getting abused. Both parties are screwed up and stuck in codependency.
Okay, but also like this is like when it comes to domestic violence, people want to also like blame like women, or not blame, but see only women being beaten. But there's a whole nother part of it. Women can be abusive as well. If she's being abusive, we need to call attention on that. If she's putting hands on him, like we need to like say, hey, that's not cool.
Nisha, and can I say something? What's going to happen? Just like what happened if it was reversed. We're going to push him closer to her by making him, making her the victim. So if, and so-called say Jasmine does say something. Oh, she just trying to come against what we did because women are
right. It would look like I'm just trying to get him back or whatever.
Correct.
That's not the case because I told y'all before he was never my boyfriend. That was always my stance. Non-boyfriend. Like it isn't that. It's just that there's somebody who's being hurt and I have a problem with allowing it to happen. I have a problem with being complicit.
You're not complicit and you're not allowing it to happen. He is allowing it to happen. He went back.
Listen, Thomas, you're not gonna be down there cheering on Katrina because you got a crush. I didn't forget. I remember you hit Katrina's Cash App. I saw your face when Katrina was like,
"I'm kidding." Just kidding. Okay, let's get back to this.
I'm just saying, like, there is a man in this box, like area that was feeling you. Not that this is the right switcheroo. I'm just saying, old boy did put the dollars in your pocket, and I don't.
Okay, we're not going to go back to that. We'll go back to Thomas in a minute. What we're going to talk about is you.
We don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about your relationship.
Your healing. Your healing is more important. Okay.
I don't have time to heal. I have work to do. I got policies to write. And all honestly, I shouldn't be keeping up with nobody's nobody. I should just be paying.
But it's okay to say that you cared about him, Jasmine. It's okay to say that.
I did care.
You was putting things in your orifices that man allowed. That is a beautiful thing.
Gosh.
That is, you become spiritually connected with people when you do that.
I know I'm atheist though, so I don't believe in that part of it. But
okay, but then put it like this way: even you can be an atheist, like y'all shared energy together. Energy was neither created nor destroyed, and he transferred energy into you.
Okay, it was just sex, y'all.
Great
the point is,
read between the lines. Energy into you.
No, he wasn't. You cared about him. You cared about him, and it's okay because just like you said, I always tell you, I love you. You never respond. You have a love thing that you shut down. You have that wall. It's that China wall that you put around your heart, Jasmine. People can love you, and then she's gonna leave. They gonna leave. They gonna leave. I gotta remember my pronouns.
I didn't leave. I was just hydrating. I'm hydrating.
Uh-huh. You got that big old thing around your heart. You cared about him. It's okay. You know why you cared about him? Because you're crying. When we don't care about people, we say fuck them. We don't care.
No, let me clarify.
Yeah, you open up a part of yourself.
I didn't say I didn't care about him. I let him get on camera with y'all. I would have never let him. So it's not that I'm saying I didn't care about him. I never said that. What I said was I do not like situations like this. I work with the houseless all the time. And sometimes you have a person in a program and they'll leave by accident because they got manipulated. It's just, I count it as a failing on my part. Like that's just me.
Not.
But this isn't.
I hear you, but does it change how I think about it?
I hear you. Okay.
I'm telling you, you'll feel better once you send that glitter bomb.
Real quick, before I want to go back to the Katrina Thomas situation because Katrina,
Thomas shot his shot. Now let me.
But no, I didn't know Thomas shot his shot.
Yes, you did because he sent it to your cash app like Katrina.
For the record, I didn't know that either.
Thomas is way too damn quiet. We got to pick on him.
Would you take my application if I cash apped you?
I remember that.
He didn't send me an application.
Hold on. He sent you the money. You supposed to send the application, fool. It's your business.
Listen, Thomas,
you didn't say Thomas. Send me a cash app and a cover letter. You said I'll send you an application.
I have no problems with putting my love on Thomas and Sean, but I'm just being nice.
Wow,
right now.
Thomas.
Is that happening at the same time? Because I'd like to see it. I mean, I am going through trauma.
I mean, I would too.
I mean, can we make a thing and just record it?
A little dry. So if you were down, just kidding.
I mean, we got 2 thumbs up right there. Thomas, what you got?
I'm saying if that's gonna happen, send me to OnlyFans. Just let me know.
Dang, we're gonna charge on OnlyFans? All right.
No,
we're not. We're all family in here, okay?
Don't be making it incestuous. We ain't related. Ain't nobody on this stage related.
Look at the red on Thomas. That is incredible.
Like the crazy thing about it is,
John, you sound real quiet right now. You ain't saying no. Are you okay with all of this?
Uh-oh, he's leaving. Uh-oh. I'm just happy. You know what? Okay, go ahead, Sean. Your hand is up.
Well, damn, I was going to say some serious stuff, but now I don't want to.
That's still not a no.
Oh, that's definitely not a no. No, I'm game. You know what? I'll throw it out. Jasmine, you know that no matter who it is, you can't make anybody's choices for them, no matter what. But yeah, I'm down, Katrina.
So let me clarify. I hear
I'm sorry. Did you just say he was down? Wait, hold on.
Yes, because remember, so when Sean was told to shoot his shot, he didn't have a job. He got an office now.
Period.
Okay, Sean, we'll talk.
Damn right.
Make use of the office.
Poor little Thomas, though.
In the office closet.
What happened?
Tizzy, you emailed Sean King and he wrote you back?
What happened to your shirt, Thomas? Where's your jacket?
Thomas just took his jacket off. Thomas was getting hot.
Right, he's it's getting a little steamy in here.
Thomas, are you in North Carolina as well?
I am. I'm in Durham.
No shit.
Damn it. You guys are all so close, man.
Hold on a second,
No
Katrina.
shit.
Listen.
I'm planning on moving to Durham. That's the thing. That's what he was like, oh, okay. I plan on moving to Durham. I'm trying to get
nice out here. You should come.
Can I recommend?
Yes.
Recommend talk to Thomas about good areas in Durham, or talk to me.
I will. I already talked to MIMS about it.
South Raleigh, further south, if you go towards Gardner, is a fantastic.
Why are you leaving me for them?
My dream job is at Duke University, so I'm trying to get in there.
Oh, that's
right. I can't stop your dream. Stop your dream. Go ahead, do your thing.
But yeah. So
I didn't know Thomas was a 2-hour ride. Do you know if Thomas left work today, he could be here in time for dinner?
Wait. What kind of 2-hour ride are we talking about?
Yes.
Literally.
Yes. The answer is yes.
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 Always yes.
Wait. Thomas, do you like mashed potatoes?
I love mashed potatoes.
Oh, okay.
Thomas,
You better be driving.
Are we talking about actual mashed potatoes?
Yes. Jasmine loves mashed
hold
potatoes.
Hold on. Do you put raisins in things that shouldn't go in?
I don't put raisins on anything.
Good answer.
Good answer. Good
All
answer.
people were like,
Orifices? In orifices?
Also, good morning, Nisha.
No.
In orifices?
Let's not talk about raisins.
No,
and
we're not.
orifices, all right, no, let's not go there.
Why do
Okay,
you
Sean, do you like raisins?
Why are we eating?
I can't think of any reason to eat a raisin.
I like raisins, but like
Okay,
on
I
their
like
own.
raisins. I just don't mix them in
Yeah,
things.
I'm the same way.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll eat them in
I
like
can't.
trail mix,
Raisins
Same way.
shouldn't
Stuff like
be
If
that.
it's not in a
anything
cookie,
with
it doesn't
mayonnaise.
belong in anything.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Raisins should be
Legitimate.
anything with mayonnaise. No Waldorf salad, no potato salad. Raisins should just be grapes that are in a box. Raisins. Like if you have to put a sauce on the raisins don't be in there.
That's a
Or
good point.
wine. I mean, I like wine. I'm down for wine.
Yeah.
But that's not a raisin. That's a grape.
Nope.
Oh
that's
yeah,
a
you're
grape.
right. Yeah, it's a grape. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's a grape.
Spicy grape juice.
Spicy grape juice.
It's
Spicy grape juice.
Spicy grape juice.
pre-feet. It's pre-feet.
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 Spicy grape juice is exactly how because I would have one glass of wine a year when my children were younger, and it was usually around New Year's, and I would always tell them that it was my spicy grape juice. So that's a good call, Sean. That I think that more parents do that than I realized.
My little one wanted to try. He always wants to try what I'm drinking. So one day I had a little bit of scotch, and
I bet that stopped that real fast.
I was like, "Hey, smell it first." He smelled it, and he was like, "It smells good." I'm like, "Take a little sip if you want." And like, he took a little sip, and he was like, "I don't want to have this anymore." I'm like,
Same thing happened with
He
my
wasn't
eldest
ready
son.
for the hair on his chest. Mims, he was not ready for that hair on his chest yet.
he was feeling froggy the other day. He was feeling froggy. He was gonna try to push it, and I said, "Oh, you think that just because Daddy plays and like jokes around, that Daddy can't get angry at you?" And he's like, "You've been angry," and I'm like, "No, yeah, no, I have never been angry at you. But if you try to punch me in my tenders again, we're gonna have a different conversation." Because he was being cute, trying to like see what he could do.
Well, okay, I have a question because I don't have penis. If he punched you in your tenders, can't you just flick him in his? I mean, that's a one for one.
No, because I would never
No,
want to
you
do
can't.
that. Like even if I did that, even if a friend of mine did that to me, I had testicular cancer. I only got one.
Oh yeah.
I only got one.
You know what?
I don't want
even
to.
think about that, Mims.
I get phantom pain from it not even being there, and there's nothing I can do about it. So
That sucks.
it
I
does.
think the problem
It
I think
really
the issue
sucks.
here
Wow.
is that I don't
Does
know
suck.
that's just
Sorry, man.
pain. That's the problem.
I'm sorry though.
actually
Somebody
was in
flicking me in
line
my
with
nads,
Jasmine
I
until
am
you
smacking
said
them
that.
back.
Yeah, if back in the day, like I wouldn't retaliate against their tenders. I would go towards their head. I'm like, you don't do that. You don't do that. No, I don't play that shit.
I learned calling my daughter an asshole. My little one, asshole. I tell her be an asshole.
I'll breaking up.
Charlie, you sound like a robot friend.
Robot. Yep.
Yep, you're being a little bit robotic.
Now,
Ooh, big
Say
thunderstorm
something
happening
again.
here.
Say something again.
can you hear me?
It's a little better. Yep.
It's a little better.
Okay.
Yep.
So sometimes I tell my little one that she's being an asshole, and she's being an asshole because I'm a firm believer in telling somebody that they're being an asshole when they're being an asshole. Well, yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, I told her she couldn't have something that she wanted, and she turned around and said, "Mommy, you asshole." And I couldn't even be mad at her. I couldn't, because I was just like, ooh, oh, well, damn. Okay.
Where
My
you
little
really
one.
being an asshole?
What?
Sorry, go ahead.
Just
No,
so
I'm
you guys-
done.
Okay.
Just so
So
you
my
guys
my
know,
little
I
one
have a-
stubbed. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to tell you, I have a 2-hour time limit rule now. So I've been in here for an hour and 7 minutes. I only have 53 minutes left before I have to take a grown-up required break. But Make it good, y'all. Give me the good tea to send me on my way.
I have a
Okay.
question about that,
You just
Nisha.
upped the bar, Jasmine.
Yeah, you did.
Yes.
I know that Jasmine is required
what
to
kind
take
of-
the break.
What kind of
Is
tea you looking
Jasmine
for?
allowed to come back in after said required break, or is that a
Yes,
no?
Jasmine is
Okay.
allowed to come back after
How long
break.
is the break?
Today is 15 minutes.
I don't know if this is the tea you're looking
Is someone
for.
making sure that Jasmine's drinking enough water and hydrating?
Good deal.
Y'all just told me to drink water. I did.
I know, like y'all are actually doing my job, getting on them, make sure they drink water and stuff.
Cash
They might
App's in
not
the
even
bio.
need a break. In a bio
Our
break.
Cash
We ain't
App-
seen you
our
get up
Cash
and
App's in
pee
the
enough,
bio.
but you ain't drinking enough.
I have gone to pee several times.
Well, drink some more.
Just playing.
I'm about to. It's after 12. I'm about to switch to the real stuff.
Nisha and Ray, I will say that
They're about to
this
say,
group
"Fuck it, I'm gonna take my
actually
break
does
early."
truly care
Day
about
drinking.
everybody in the panels. So making sure that hydration reminders, food reminders, medicine, all that is a constant thing, especially since we do have a lot of heavy conversations. So just know, now that you have announced that, and now that Jasmine has announced that they have a 2-hour limit, it will be enforced.
I try not to lie. Like if I say I'm going to commit to something, I actually commit to it. I told my staff in the staff meeting yesterday that 2-hour breaks were going to be the thing. And like, what's the point of lying to them? What's the point of having people that you're not going to listen to, whether it's frustrating or fun or not? Let the professionals do their jobs.
Jasmine, can I say something?
It's mostly, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be mean when I say this, but even though you have a heart as cold as ice when it comes down to the love that you're supposed to have for me, I feel
She had to look away.
I feel so honored to know that you are that type of person that cares enough to say that you know, that you actually give a shit about people. Seeing you cry over someone that you care about is so warm in my heart.
I agree.
So even though you're going through something right now, I love seeing this and knowing that you're going to be my president. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So just know that I love you. Even though you never want to say it back, I love you.
So do you know what it is? If I had, like right now, I'm crying because so I want to be truthful. I did not realize I cared about this dude until very, very recently when someone else told me I cared about the person. And because again, I trust the people I keep around me or I wouldn't have them around me. I actually sat with that and evaluated. Had this occurred a couple weeks ago, I would not be as upset as I am currently.
That was my fault.
So in regard to, it's not that I don't care for you, Trina. I care for everybody the same. I just have a higher, like the whole, like when you guys tell each other that you love each other, I don't understand it. I never say it back because it's confusing to me. I can't relate. So it's not that I don't care for each and every one of you. It's not that I wouldn't handle anybody mistreating you swiftly with all the right justice needed. It's just that because of issues that happened in my childhood, anytime someone has ever said that they have loved me, they have left. That includes my mother, my father. So for people to be like, I love you, there's no what for, right? This dude who's going to someone else, he also said he loved me, right? But he's about to drop off all of my stuff at 5 o'clock. So I find better for me if I don't have those kinds of relationships, because people who I'm associates with, they never go anywhere. People who are on a surface level, y'all are here longer than an STI. But when I have relationships and love is involved, it lasts a month or it lasts 6 months. So I don't do love because I have found in my experience, love is a tool for manipulation. It is a tangible thing that makes anything in my life ever easier. I can say, I'm probably gonna get a couple more policies out maybe today or tomorrow because I'm in the mood to work. So that helps. But when you guys say you love each other or me, I can't relate because it's just words.
Well, you got to remember
that usually get me towards a faster ending of a contact that I have seen in anything.
You got to remember that the word love in the English language has like 7 different definitions. It's one of the most confusing words there. Yeah. People can say they love you and have a completely different meaning than what you think they're trying to say.
Absolutely.
So what you try to do is try to identify what kind of love they're having for you. Because I mean, you can say, I love someone, absolutely freaking worship them, but I'm talking about the kind of friendship, the kind of nonstop friendship. That is loving someone. That doesn't mean I don't love them any less, but there's no want to get down with them, want to get dirty with them, all that kind of stuff.
I think you're misunderstanding me because I mentioned my own biological mother and father and that I don't have sex with my parents.
Well, no, I know, but there's like I said, there's 7 different definitions of love.
But if you had sat with that and listened a little bit more, you would have heard what I was talking about. I'm talking about abandonment from people who talk about love. I'm not talking about a concept, not understanding what love is. I'm not talking about missing the concept. I'm talking about, I am a very data-driven person, and everybody that I have encountered in my personal experience that has expressed any kind of love for me has ceased to be in my life for an extended period of time. So I operate under a rejection of that emotion. I use that as a red flag because if you love me, you should need to tell me that.
Wow.
So I really hope you sit with that, CJ, because it wasn't that I don't understand what love is. It isn't that I'm telling you that every time someone has thrown love towards me, it has never been a positive. It has been I'm leaving very, very shortly.
Got it.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Jasmine, sorry. I want to talk about that because I've been adopted. I've always been second in my entire life. I want to talk about that if that's okay after Brains.
Oh, well, damn, I was going to change the subject. I don't want to do that. But I did want to say, respectfully, CJ, I know that what you're saying is coming from a good place and you really just want to make Jasmine feel better. But because I can relate to everything that Jasmine is saying, I can understand it from an inside perspective, sort of. What you're saying about there being different kinds of love is just a little bit invalidating because Jasmine is speaking from their own life lived experiences. And of course, there are different types of love, but love is a 4-letter word. That means, what did Tina say? What's love got to do with it? Not a goddamn thing. It's a 4-letter word that really doesn't mean anything unless there's action behind it. And people say it all the time, but it don't really mean shit. It really doesn't mean anything.
I was trying to come at it from the exact same point of view you're looking at. You got to also remember that emotions for me are really tough. Okay. I come from a point where I didn't really have the ability to access my emotions until the last like 20 plus years. So that doesn't sound like much, but when your whole childhood is without emotions or very little of it, autistic oriented type background, emotions are tough, man. It takes a lot of effort for me to dig through them. So for me to come at something and try to say it, sometimes I get it completely wrong. So Jasmine, I apologize. I was not trying to belittle you or anything like that. I was trying to.
You're still not listening. You're still not listening. That's why I put the O face up, because you're not listening. You didn't listen to what I just said. You didn't listen to what Charlie said. You made it about you. And that's cool if that's what you need to do. But this wasn't that. And you didn't listen. You didn't hear what they said. You just wanted to defend yourself. And you don't have to apologize to me or say, I know. You still not listening. Mims, do you want to just take your turn?
Sure.
Can I ask a quick question before we switch topics, Mims?
Okay, I wasn't going to switch topics, but sure.
Oh, this is just a question for Jasmine. I'm hearing what you're saying, and Katrina also said it in chat to not use that word when talking to you because it does make you uncomfortable and is triggering. Would it be better for you in an emotional stance if instead of, because I say I love you to a lot of people, would it be better for you if I say, Jasmine, I care about you instead of saying I love you or Jasmine, I support you? Because I don't want to be triggering.
No, you're not triggering me.
Okay.
My people expressing their feelings for me, I recognize that. But I'm explaining why I don't say the words to you. I would rather be myself. Y'all have never heard me tell any of you, even people that work for me, they've never heard me say I love you. Nisha saw me say it in a text message to someone and was like, did you say that out loud? Like,
I did say that.
What I'm saying is I will demonstrate how I feel for you and the things that I do with and for you. I will never tone police you about what you can and can't say to me because you may actually feel like you do love me. It's not your fault I'm broken. It's not your fault I'm fucked up. I had just like I can handle it. I'm just trying to explain to Katrina. I don't mean any disrespect by not returning the gesture. It's just love to me does not mean the same thing I think that it means to most people because it has only led to manipulation and pain. That's it.
I think that rings true among a lot of people here. Love has different meanings. I don't want to like step on any toes. I think that's what we were getting at. So like love for me had very little meaning until I really met my wife. Because I was always second in life. When I was born, I was sent straight for adoption. I wasn't my birth parents' first choice. I wasn't even my adoptive parents' first choice. They tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to have a kid, and they couldn't. So they bought me. I was 10K. That's how much I was. So telling people I love them had a lot less meaning than it does now. And the way I think of it is sort of I love Maple. I love y'all, but I'm not in love with Maple. I'm not in love with y'all. It's different for me at least. So, that kind of brings me back to like I have so many friends that are family and so many family members that are not even friends. And yeah, yeah. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Charlie, did you have anything else to add? Your hands up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't on mute. I have a tendency to talk to myself. I was actually going to change the subject. I wanted to talk about something that happened kind of this morning. It wasn't like it depends on if anybody else is wanting to speak on the subject specifically, I'll put my hand down and wait.
Mikey, did you want to talk on this topic?
I was just gonna hit on a small part of it. I was just wondering if anybody else kind of experienced this. Back to the it's the love thing. Like my father never said it. Like my mom said it all the time. We said it to my mom. We said it to my dad. But my dad was always, I'd say, "Hey, I love you, Dad," or my mom would even say, "I love you, honey," and he would always just do the mm-hmm. Like even to this day, I can still say to my dad, "Hey, Dad, I love you. I miss you," and all I get is a mm-hmm. Like I think that's why I think I am so much different. Like I express my love just like you, Mims. I express my love in multitude of ways. I love my neighbor, I love my friends, I love my wife, I love my dogs, I love the grass, I love the trees, and so I didn't know if anybody else experienced stuff like that made them the way that they are and how they're expressing their love now, when it comes to the ones who are ahead of you. Like, you said you were always second. I was never second. I kind of was. My sister was the golden child, and me and my brother were pretty much nothing. And but I never heard it. Like I think maybe 2 times out of my whole life I've ever heard my dad say I love you. And I didn't know if he meant it. You know what I mean? I knew he loved me because, he took care of me, but did he just love the idea of the children?
because that's kind of like why I think I express my love the way I do now. Like I can tell everybody here, I love you guys with all my heart and soul, and jump into the fire for you. And
real quick, I'm going to pause the screen. Kimkins, I don't know if you know, but you have your whole name on here, on you. So everybody, make sure check your username, make sure it's okay, because we are streaming on a couple of different places. So
yeah, I just paused Twitch too, so you can change your name real quick.
Yep. So just if you're good with it, roll with it. If not, swap
I'm gonna
it out.
change it, but I'm not scared.
No.
I'm not worried about it, I should say.
Mims, I need you to check your Discord.
Okay.
so yeah, we can go back to we can go to brains now. I was just wanting to touch on that subject. That explains why I love the way I love.
I think the way you love Mikey is beautiful, and it's also dope because you married an assassin. Katrina,
Love you, Catherine.
if I fed your children, would you go to dinner with me tonight? See, they ain't even listen.
Again, really quick, does anybody want to touch on this subject before I change the subject?
Was Kim Kim's coming for love, or was Kim's coming on? Like, because there's two more people.
Yeah, I want to comment on it if that's okay. Because I give my dad a lot of flack, but he had a similar situation growing up where he vividly remembers his dad never saying, I love you. And so that's one of the generational traumas that he experienced that he broke with us. He told us all the time. And he always said, it's because my dad never told me. So I will never give you a day where I don't tell you. I mean, he's got a lot of his own issues aside from that, but a lot of other stuff he's got to work on. But that is one thing that really stuck with him too. So it causes some damage.
Yeah.
You never get that validation. And I remember telling my grandpa, love you, grandpa. And he could only say, I do too. He could never say, I love you back. He never said it. And it was so weird. And my dad was like, see, he wouldn't even give us that. But he was adamant about breaking that generational.
And sometimes saying just that little bit is worse than saying nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie, your hand is up.
Sorry, typing.
I just wanted to address the fact that the last conversation looks like it segued onto our Discord, and not all of the people that are involved in that conversation are in the Discord. And I really don't think that that's an appropriate way for us to handle arguments with one another or different viewpoints with one another.
Or being called out, just being called out for doing something, because that's really what happened.
Yeah. So whatever stays on Discord stays on Discord. Whatever stays on here stays on here. Whatever stays on TikTok stays on TikTok. So the thing that we need to know, and I even addressed it in Discord, I said that we are all working through our own trauma, and sometimes we step on each other's toes and emotions. We're all here to progress ourselves forward. Let's grow and learn. So is it all right if we leave it at that point and move forward?
Mims,
yes.
I'm going to tell you that I cannot participate in any more with CJ until it is actually discussed, because that's not a discussion. I respect what you did, but that was harmful in multiple ways. That was an autism thread. Comment to be made is harmful. So I feel like we need to be having an actual discussion about that. That's just where I stand.
So should I stop streaming and we talk about it?
I'd be cool with that.
I'll stop my stream if you guys, or do you need the people who are not in the Discord to go? Because no,
because it happened on both.
Nope.
He left. No, because it happened here. Really, it was just a comment that was made in the Discord, but it's about.
All right, YouTube. I'll be back.
Here.
I'll be back.
Really quick, if somebody could point me in the right direction so I can have context, because I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
When we stop